Well, hi there, everyone. How's it going? It's Monday, and we have a few minutes to talk about football. Let's talk about football. So it's still preseason, and I did sell an NFL season subscription today. Thank you, Ray. Price goes up 25 bucks every time I sell one of these. So it's $300 for a season subscription now. I know it's starting to get expensive, but the amount of work that goes into this, you'll see why it's there. And I'm also making available a weekly version for 50 bucks. You can get a copy of the file. All the videos are public about how to update it. And that's what a lot of today's video is going to be talking about, updating the file and really learning about how it's put together. I know a lot of you people are not going to be technical and not going to want to do it. Then you're gonna have to pay the price if you're wagering money and it's worth it to you. But if you really want to learn how this works, I mean, the videos are going to be fairly straightforward on how to update things. So you can always take that route and only be $50 and you just update it yourself the whole season. And you can see as I do the videos every week and try to match what I have or alter the file to make it better. So let's talk about what's gone on here in preseason week 2, week 3, whatever you want to call it. It's tough to number the preseason weeks. Not great again. This Monday game is happening tonight with the Jets and the Falcons. But let's look at everything else. And it looks like 6-9, complete random noise. Kind of as predicted, not much going on here. You don't know who's playing. But we did do a good deal of addition of rookies to this list now. I added rookies at the bottom here and estimated a percentage for them all the way down here at the bottom. These guys are all rookies when I added this stuff here. So we just kind of averaged in some statistics about what an average receiver or running back or quarterback on a given team would be. And we applied that percentage. Of course, not an optimal thing to do, but just something to get some rookies in there to make it work. Anyway, not great, but whatever. It's preseason. And I think that last year's preseason was just an accidental, really good preseason. I think that this is just a mess, but doesn't mean the regular season is going to be bad. I think regular season should be great. So let's talk about what we're going to do to update this and how to get this thing current. What do you do here? Well, the first thing you do is you go into the schedule sheet, which, by the way, they also changed days of these preseason games after they initially released the schedule. So I think I had some of the days wrong. Just another reason preseasons are just a huge hassle for almost no benefit other than preparing the file and kind of getting it ready for the year. It's helpful. So I entered in the scores, hopefully correctly. I do make mistakes sometimes, but I entered in the scores here in the schedule sheet. And when you do that, they automatically filter into the cube, which is keeping a record of all of the games, essentially. So they're already in there, and then you can refresh the pivot here, and you get those scores kind of showing up automatically right here. So that part's done. Well, now that a lot of these games are over, but not all of them, but almost all of them, we go into the cube, okay, and we need to start freezing historical games that are not happening anymore. For example, the Jets Atlanta game, which is right here. Notice that it shows it in both orders, meaning it shows the team of reference as either the Falcons or the Jets. There's 2 records of this game, okay? That's these records right here. All the other records can now be frozen and not be formulas anymore, meaning all these columns that are formulas right here, projected score, everything, we want to freeze those. So I've already frozen the previous weeks, but this is essentially the process, which is you just highlight everything except those last 2 rows that are still going on. Copy, paste values, 1, 2, 3. Now we've just frozen those. So that's good because now we can do other things to update in the file and not alter the historical stuff and not be confused about what the historical results were because we just froze them. Right. So this is your database management of turning a dynamic record into a static one because we are done. We don't care what the new injury report and new projections say about this old projected score. And what do I mean by that? Well, I grabbed 2 things off of RotoWire. Grabbed an injury report, and I grabbed the projections file. These are 2 important things for keeping this thing current. Let's start with the injury report. We'll copy the injury report that we grabbed and exported from RotoWire. We're going to go into the injuries tab, which is somewhere. It's right here. And we're going to paste over what was there with the new injury report. We're going to scroll down to make sure that this one is longer than the previous one, and it is, so we're fine. So injuries are now done. So we can get rid of injury report. We're good. Next thing we're going to do is update the RotoWire projections, which has potentially changes of rosters of teams and players going to different teams. So here is what the season projections are from RotoWire. This was found right here under projections full season under RotoWire football. That's where I got this. And this is a new thing for this year, as I had not done this last year. I was kind of having more difficulty finding out who was on which team last year, but this is supposedly, I think, the best way to do it that I found. So this goes right here in the AllPlayers sheet. All right, I'm going to paste that here. We're also going to scroll down and make sure that this list is bigger than it was and that we don't have any historical stats. No, it looks good. Okay, now what happens when we do that is that this formula updates automatically and there's a team change thing. And we'll see if there are any players that change teams. And we can see that with this player change pivot. All you have to do is go in here and refresh this in the player change pivot sheet. And anybody with a team change is right there. Okay, there's 3 people. It's Kendall Blanton, Nick Mullins, and Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin is now a free agent. Mullins is now on Minnesota, and Kendall Blanton is on Washington. So we can also see those guys by scrolling down, and they're going to show up here in this team change area, and then we're going to make the change. So for example, Tavon Austin, now a free agent. So we call him free agent, or actually FA, we'll get rid of the error. Doesn't matter, you can use either one. And then we'll find the other 2. So this is 3 changes. This is, boy, is this a really easy way to check everybody. It's great that RotoWire assigns the proper team appropriately in their database and their projections quite quickly. That's why we're able to do this. That's everybody, right? So instead of looking through all the teams and checking all depth charts and everything, that apparently is going to take care of all our player changes. So now we've changed players and we've updated an injury report. We are making progress. Let's refresh the Proj pivot sheet, which is where we log all the players. You'll see stuff changed a little bit. There's some more questionable injuries and changing of injury statuses that I just clicked. And this is your new list. And now you're actually going to get a new projected score for this Monday game right here. Instead of 30-23, if any injury report has changed or any roster change affects any of these teams, which I don't think it does, but we'll see if this changes. Refresh, bam, it's still 30-23. So nothing changed. It's still the same score here. But we did just update a lot of other things. And there's a way I could show you how things would have changed if we have the new injury report with the games, but it's too complicated. Don't worry about it. So that is a lot of what the updating process involves for this early preseason week. The videos that I'll get into as the season starts are going to involve other sheets like the pro reference sheet, which is going to have last year and now current year stats as soon as the season starts. There is the, there's a bunch of stuff. There's a matrix. We're gonna get rid of the rookies. There's the season pivot sheet that we're gonna have to be updating. There's a lot of other sheets that we're gonna talk about. But as for preseason right now and just kind of understanding the fundamentals about getting your roster straight, this is an exceptional tutorial about how to do that part of it. So would you do anything in this game? Well, it's predicting 53 points at a magnifier of 4. And the over-under, at least on this game, is higher than the other ones. So a lot of them, the odds makers. I was thinking about kind of going over the over-unders really fast to kind of say, did anything interesting happen here? But you know what? It's preseason and it's preseason and there's no reason. It's preseason and there's no reason why any of this should work well. Like anything that happens that's kind of correct is almost sort of an accident, because when you look through the projection pivot sheet, who of these players actually played a percentage of the game, right? Like, did Darren Waller play a lot for the Raiders in their preseason game? We could go look at there. I don't even know where you find the preseason stats from the game of like yards. And I don't even know where you get that. Like, I don't think RotoWire even has it. Nobody really cares. So it's an accident if it works at this stage because you just don't know the distribution of players. So let's just concentrate on getting this thing fundamentally sound, accurate, players on the right teams, rookies assigned. We'll continue to verify the rookie list is accurate, especially with who gets cut. There's gonna be a lot of action going on. But in terms of wagering on the preseason, I actually made a wager, believe it or not. I bet like 7 games when I was in Virginia for a few hours as I flew East Coast to West Coast. And I made a wager at Dulles Airport. And I think I went 4-3 on my 7 picks, but I lost stuff like Arizona +5.5. And they lost by 7, even though they were down a ton. Um, you can see San Francisco wanted a really good line right here. But in general, it's just ugly. And it's probably the next preseason game is probably going to be also ugly, right? You've got all this stuff, which we need to re-update this. And actually, hold on, this did change because we just updated the injury report. So technically, this is actually as accurate. Oh, it's a bonus for people who stuck around in this video. Oh, there's no lines yet. I didn't grab the lines. We could grab the lines, but let's not worry about it yet. We'll worry about it on Thursday. But this is essentially your look. And we're going to start adjusting magnifiers because the preseason magnifier is lower than normal and things are going to go up, but maybe not in the preseason. So there's a million things to talk about. But I'm going to do a video on stocks and English Premier League soccer and baseball later today. And this is the last NFL I'm going to talk about until the next game, if the schedule is correct, which I believe is on Thursday the 20th. There's 2 games on Thursday the 25th. So yeah, the next video you'll see will be like a Thursday-ish video as stuff is updated. All right, guys, that's NFL. If you're interested in purchasing the season subscription, get it while it's like still somewhat affordable. But otherwise we'll be doing this weekly. All right, good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning and may all your databases be managed.